I'm immensely impressed with that. The most remarkable thing about it is, first of all, its unanimity. It really feels like all those voices are joining together in fervent prayer. And the other amazing thing about it is that it has such a sense of spirituality, because there's nothing very spiritual about recording your voice part on your own in your living room, or up in your bedroom or wherever. And yet, joined together, those voices really do convey to me a sense of prayer. Of course, you as the sound engineers have the choice of what kind of a space to put it in, because it doesn't want to sound as if it's all been recorded in lots of people's bedrooms. And you've placed it in the vast spaces of St. Lexicon's Cathedral in Kiev, which is absolutely appropriate and wonderful. I can smell the incense, I can see the icons, I can see the images of the Virgin Mary with the candles in front of them. It brings the whole scene before my eyes. And it's turned something that was really an individual experience for lots of people into a communal experience. And actually, I feel a very spiritual and prayerful experience, which is exactly what I hoped would happen when I wrote the piece. And so all those voices have joined together as one. And I think that's a remarkable achievement, both on the part of all the individual singers who contributed, and of course, our tremendous team of Ben England and Connor, who has mixed it all together. Connor, can I ask a naughty question? How many hours did you spend putting that together?
So it took my editor 2 8-hour days to make sure everyone's words were aligned correctly, and then it took me about 6 hours to mix it. So
that's pretty quick going. You're a fast worker, but you've probably had more practice than anyone else on the planet.
I'd imagine so, just a bit. If you can do Mozart's Mass, this is I don't know. This is before breakfast kind of level work. Not that it's bad, just there's no like you know. This is the kind of choral music that I enjoy working on as well, which was a bit of light relief after the album.
A five-finger exercise for you, but a miracle for many of the rest of us, because I know enough about what is involved in the process of putting individual recordings together and mixing them to become one, to know that it's a specialist and intricate process.
It really is.
But the payback in terms of the reward it brings to everybody who took part is extraordinary.
Exactly.
But you were people who of living in different countries or living in remote places, or possibly not being able to get to acquire practice because of not being able to get to acquire practice. That it's brought something very meaningful into their lives, which is the ability to enjoy the unique experience of being in a choir. And who would have thought 3 years ago that this whole art form would have developed in the way that it has? And it's taken the vision of quite a small number of people, and of course Mark Strawn absolutely prominent amongst them, to make this dream, which technologically is sort of at the limits of what's actually possible with audio engineering, to turn that into a reality. It is really rather staggering. And I hope it never becomes routine so that we all think, oh yeah, you can just put that together and that's easy.
It's not, it's really not.
I know very well that it isn't, that it takes an awful lot of skill, a fantastic musical ear, and perseverance, and well, all the qualities that I probably haven't got in sufficient quantity, or not anymore. That's lovely. I mean, and of course, when I think, I shouldn't perhaps be sharing this, but I must have written the piece in no more than about 3 or 4 hours, because that's all I got. That I knew I was going to be doing a public singing day in London for sort of 300 plus people. Yeah. The invasion of Ukraine had just happened. And I thought to myself, I cannot face these 300 people merrily singing away without acknowledging that these terrible events were taking place so far away at the other end of Europe. And that was why I thought, I've got to write something that will just somehow give a voice to what we are all feeling. Yeah. And the natural thing for a musician in the face of events is to want to write music, because I suppose that's what we do best. And the huge surprise was finding how it took off, and that it was not just one group of people gathered in a South London church one Saturday who wanted to sing it, but it seemed like everybody wanted to sing it. Yeah. And that is an example of how a composer's life is full of surprises. It really, really is. You never know what's going to happen with the pieces that you write. Some just fall by the wayside. Some don't succeed until years later. That's a slow burn experience. And then you get something like this, which is dashed off in white heat, really. Barely, the old expression would have been the ink was still wet, except there's no ink on the laser copy. But somehow it goes viral, to use that phrase that nobody used 5 years ago, I think. I wonder if it's in the Oxford Dictionary by now.
It definitely is. I think people use it less since the pandemic.
You're probably, yes, that's probably true. So it's been a pleasure, and I do sincerely take my hat off to you all. I think it's a lovely performance. I think it brings exactly the richness and depth that I hoped that piece would have in performance, whether it was sung by a small choir or a large choir. And this, of course, is a very large choir, but one which expresses something that I would have found very hard to put into words. But that's the great thing about being a musician, that you can often, in music, express feelings, sentiments, emotions that are very hard to encapsulate in ordinary words. They're inadequate. And as Mendelssohn said, well, music takes over where words leave off, really. Yeah. I think that's true. So thank you, one and all.
Thank you, John. Pleasure. Well, look, we're going to do a little bit more polishing, Connor and I. There's a couple of bits I just want to, just tiny bits of polish. Yeah. And when it's done, we'll send you, John, a full mix that you can have a listen to.
The quest for perfection is never ending.
It's not. You know full well it's not, and we'll make sure it's polished to a high shine. We'll send it
to you. Yes.
And if
how much can this diamond be further polished, I ask myself.
I reckon we can get another couple of carats out of it.
That's fine.
But huge thanks as always.
Yes.
It's lovely to see you.
Thank you very much.
My thanks to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye now.
Take care, John.
Bye, John.
See you, John.
Bye.